Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell stood at attention on the deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln, the sea breeze tugging at her uniform as she awaited the arrival of the Joint Task Force. At 28, she was younger than most officers of her experience level, her rapid rise through the ranks a testament to both her tactical brilliance and her family legacy. As the daughter of the legendary Admiral William Mitchell, expectations had always been sky high, but Sarah had surpassed them all. The helicopter's rotors chopped through the humid air as it descended onto the carrier's deck. Out stepped Commander James Reeves and his elite SEAL team, their weathered faces betraying years of combat experience. Sarah had been assigned as their tactical weapons specialist for the upcoming operation in the contested waters of the South China Sea. "Lieutenant Mitchell," the XO announced, "please brief Commander Reeves and his team on Operation Trident Shield." Sarah stepped forward, her posture perfect, her voice clear and commanding despite her slender frame. "Gentlemen, welcome aboard. I'll be your weapons and tactical specialist for this mission." Commander Reeves looked her up and down, a smirk playing at the corner of his mouth. He turned to his team. "Looks like they sent us a junior lieutenant to explain how to do our jobs." His men chuckled. "With all due respect, sir," Sarah replied evenly, "I've designed the tactical approach for this operation based on my experience with the new XM7 weapon system." Reeves raised an eyebrow, then offered an exaggerated salute. "Nice to meet you, little lieutenant. I'm sure your father would be proud." The mockery in his tone was unmistakable, drawing more laughter from his team. Sarah felt her cheeks flush, but maintained her composure. She'd faced this kind of dismissal before. As one of the few women to complete the specialized combat training program initiated by Colonel Eileen Collins, she was accustomed to proving herself repeatedly. "The briefing will continue in the war room at 800 tomorrow," she stated, refusing to acknowledge the slight. "I suggest you all review the preliminary intelligence reports before then." As she turned to leave, memories flooded back, her childhood on military bases around the world, her father teaching her to field strip a rifle at age 10, the grueling years at the Naval Academy where she graduated top of her class, the specialized weapons development program she'd joined under the mentorship of Colonel Collins had led to her, creating a targeting system that had already saved countless lives in classified operations. What Commander Reeves didn't know, what he couldn't know due to classification levels, was that Sarah had already seen more combat than most officers with twice her years of service. Her work on the XM7 had taken her into active combat zones to test and implement the system under real conditions. The mission ahead would be dangerous. Intelligence suggested a hostile force was preparing to seize a research vessel in international waters, a vessel carrying technology that could shift the balance of power in the region. Sarah's weapon system would be crucial to the extraction plan. As she reached the doorway, the room suddenly fell silent. 4 generals had entered from the opposite side, 3 men and 1 woman. Sarah recognized General Janet Wolfenbarger immediately, along with General Michael Hayes and 2 others from Joint Special Operations Command. To her surprise, all 4 rendered sharp salutes in her direction. The room froze, Commander Reeves's smirk vanishing as he tried to process what was happening. Something was clearly happening beyond his security clearance, and Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell was somehow at the center of it. The A mission was about to become far more complicated than anyone had anticipated. The mission briefing room fell, silent as General Wolfenbarger stepped forward. "Lieutenant Mitchell's tactical plan is approved at the highest levels. This operation is now classified Omega 7. The generals departed, leaving Commander Reeves and his team visibly stunned. 3 days later, under cover of darkness, Sarah and the SEAL team infiltrated the contested waters aboard a stealth craft. The intelligence had been correct. A research vessel carrying experimental quantum computing technology was under threat. What they hadn't anticipated was the scale of the enemy force: 3 attack boats and a submarine lurking beneath the surface. "This wasn't in your perfect little plan, was it, Lieutenant?" Reeves muttered as they observed the situation through night vision. Sarah adjusted her tactical vest, checking the specialized targeting system she'd brought. "Plans adapt, Commander. That's why we're here." The team split into two strike forces, Reeves leading Alpha Team to secure the vessel, while Sarah and Bravo Team would neutralize the enemy boats. As they approached their targets, the night exploded with gunfire. "They'd been spotted! Taking heavy fire!" crackled over the comm as Alpha Team fought their way onto the research vessel. Sarah's team pressed forward toward the enemy boats, her modified XM-7 targeting system guiding their precision strikes despite the chaos. "Man down!" The voice of Petty Officer Rodriguez cut through the comm. "Jenkins is hit bad." Sarah made a split-second decision. "Bravo 2 and 3, continue the assault." "Bravo 1 with me." She changed course, heading toward the wounded SEAL despite the barrage of enemy fire. Reaching Jenkins, Sarah assessed his wound. A bullet had pierced his body armor at the shoulder joint. Blood pooled beneath him as his face grew pale. She applied a combat tourniquet while returning fire with her sidearm. Didn't expect to be saved by the Admiral's daughter, Jenkins gasped through pain. "Save your strength," Sarah ordered, "administering battlefield painkillers. We're getting you out." A sudden explosion rocked the water nearby. The enemy submarine had launched torpedoes at their extraction craft. Their escape route was gone. "Alpha Team status?" Sarah called into her comm. "Vessel secured," Reeves responded, his voice tense. "But we've got hostages and the enemy is regrouping for counterattack." Sarah helped Jenkins to his feet, supporting his weight as they moved toward cover. "New plan. All teams converge on the research vessel. We'll make our stand there." As they fought their way toward the vessel, Sarah spotted enemy reinforcements approaching from the east, a helicopter gunship that hadn't been in any intelligence report. Their situation was deteriorating rapidly. "We're not going to make it," Bravo 3 said, his voice cracking as he fired at the approaching forces. Sarah handed Jenkins off to another team member and unstrapped her tactical pack. Inside was a prototype she'd been developing, an experimental targeting system that could redirect enemy weapons systems. It was untested in field conditions, and using it would reveal classified technology to the enemy. "Cover me," she ordered, setting up the device. "I need 3 minutes. We don't have 3 minutes." Reeves shouted over the comm. Sarah worked furiously, fingers flying over the calibration controls. Enemy fire intensified around them, bullets pinging off the metal structure providing their only cover. A round grazed her arm, leaving a burning trail of blood, but she didn't stop. "Lieutenant, abandon that position now," Reeves commanded. "Negative," Sarah responded calmly. "Trust me." The approaching helicopter launched missiles toward the research vessel. A direct hit would kill everyone aboard, including the hostage scientists. Sarah completed the final sequence on her device and activated it. The missiles suddenly veered off course, turning back toward the helicopter that had fired them. The enemy aircraft exploded in a ball of fire, illuminating the night sea. In the momentary silence that followed, Sarah caught Commander Reeves staring at her through the smoke and chaos, his expression unreadable. The battle was far from over, but something fundamental had shifted between them. "All teams," Sarah called, pressing her hand against her bleeding arm. "Regroup at my position. We're not done yet." Dawn broke over the horizon as a medical evacuation helicopter descended onto the deck of the research vessel. The night's battle had left its mark. Bullet holes riddled the hull. Smoke still rose from the remains of enemy craft scattered across the water, and the weary faces of survivors told the story of how close they had come to failure. Sarah sat against a bulkhead, her arm freshly bandaged by the team's medic. Jenkins lay nearby on a stretcher, stabilized but still critical. The rest of the team secured the perimeter while the scientists huddled in the vessel's lab, protecting the quantum technology that had nearly cost them all their lives. Commander Reeves approached, his tactical vest covered in blood, some his, most not. He knelt beside Sarah, his earlier mockery replaced by something resembling respect. "That thing you did with the missiles," he said quietly. "That wasn't in any briefing I've ever received." Sarah managed a tired smile. "Classified prototype. Been working on it for 3 years. "You saved everyone on this vessel," Reeves admitted. "Including me." The radio crackled to life. "Extraction team inbound. ETA 5 minutes. Prepare all wounded for immediate evacuation." As the team gathered their gear, Reeves helped Sarah to her feet. Why didn't you tell us who you really were? What you'd done before? Because it shouldn't matter, she replied, wincing as she tested her injured arm. The rank on my uniform should have been enough. The extraction proceeded smoothly. Within hours, they were back aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, where a full medical team awaited. As Sarah was escorted to the infirmary, she noticed a commotion near the command center. The 4 generals from before had returned, along with her father, Admiral Mitchell, his face a mixture of pride and concern. 3 days later, Sarah stood at attention in the carrier's main assembly hall. Her arm was in a sling, but she refused to show any discomfort as Admiral Mitchell approached the podium. The events of Operation Trident Shield remain classified, he began, addressing the assembled crew and officers. But the President has authorized me to present this commendation. Sarah stepped forward as her father continued. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell displayed extraordinary valor under fire, tactical brilliance in the face of overwhelming odds, and leadership that resulted in the successful rescue of 12 civilian scientists and the preservation of critical national security assets. Admiral Mitchell pinned the Navy Cross to her uniform, the second highest military decoration for valor. As he stepped back, he rendered a formal salute to his daughter. Behind him, the 4 generals did the same. Commander Reeves, standing with his team in the front row, was the next to salute, followed by every officer and sailor in the room. Later, at the reception, Jenkins approached in a wheelchair, his shoulder heavily bandaged but his eyes clear. "Lieutenant," he said, extending his hand, "I wanted to thank you properly. The doctor said another 2 minutes and I would have bled out." Sarah shook his hand. "Just doing my job, petty officer." Commander Reeves joined them, carrying 3 glasses of champagne. "To Lieutenant Mitchell," he said, handing them each a glass. "Who taught this old SEAL that respect isn't given with rank? It's earned through actions." As the celebration continued around them, Admiral Mitchell pulled his daughter aside. "The technology you deployed saved more than just your team," he said quietly. "The Joint Chiefs are implementing it across special operations. You've changed the way we'll fight future battles." Sarah nodded, watching the SEAL team that had once mocked her now defending her actions to other officers, describing her courage with genuine admiration. "I never wanted special treatment," she told her father. "I just wanted the chance to serve." Admiral Mitchell smiled. "And now you've earned something far more valuable than any salute or medal. Sarah, you've earned their trust." As she rejoined the celebration, Sarah caught Commander Reeves watching her with newfound respect. The mockery was gone, replaced by something that would serve them both better in the battles to come. Mutual respect between warriors who had faced death together and emerged stronger for it. Some barriers, Sarah realized, weren't broken with speeches or policies. They fell in the crucible of combat, where only courage and competence truly mattered.
I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you. Folded hands, your love, support, likes, comments, and subscriptions mean the world to me. Without you, this journey wouldn't be possible. Every view, every share, and every encouraging word keeps me motivated to create more content for you all. I'm truly grateful to have such an amazing community by my side. Let's keep growing together and making this journey even more special. Red Heart.